Hi, my name is Charlene. I'm going to be doing my culture assignment on myself because I do speak multiple languages. I have a few questions here that I'm going to be answering or asking myself, but a little bit about my background. I'm Asian American. My parents were both born and raised until their early teens in Vientiane, Laos, which is in Asia, right down by Thailand. I was born here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but my background is Laotian. I am Laotian. So let's start off with the first question. The first question is, what language or languages do you speak to be considered multilingual? For me, I consider myself to be just bilingual, but others may think that I'm trilingual. The reason why I only say I'm bilingual is because the languages I speak are English, Lao, and Thai. Lao and Thai are pretty similar. The majority of it pretty much sounds the same. I would say just Thai is a little more formal than Lao. We have different analogies for different things, but if I was speaking to a Thai person, I would still be able to understand them and they would still be able to understand me. Just like how in Spain or Mexico, they speak Spanish and there's different analogies as well, but they can still understand each other, kind of. So when did you learn the language? I grew up learning both English and Lao together. I just grew up being taught both languages. English was my language used mostly during school, out in public, and then when I come home, we do speak English at home, but it's mixed with Lao, so it's Lao and English at home. For Thai, I kind of just grew up, picked up the Thai language because I do have some family members or relatives that are Thai, and I would have to speak to them more formally than I would Lao people a little bit. So that's how I just picked up Thai, and it's pretty easy to pick up because it's pretty similar to Lao. What I think is Thailand is more known than Lao. Whenever anyone asks me, oh, you're Asian, what kind of Asian are you? Are you Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Thai? But I never hear anyone, really say Lao. Are you Lao or Laotian? So I feel like Lao isn't really known because you don't really meet a lot of Laotian people from New Mexico, or in New Mexico. There's a lot of Laotian people around in Texas, California. California is just a mix of lots of races, especially Chinese and Korean. But yeah, I feel like Laotian people aren't really well known, and if they are, it's by quite a few. That's a little back then, I think, but a little recently, I feel like people are learning different countries and places, and Lao is becoming a little more known, but not well known like Korean. Korean is really well known, I think, because of K-pop and all the politics with Korea too. Anyway, which language would you consider to be your native language? I would say, because of my background and my culture, that Lao is my native language, but I really grew up with both English and Lao, so I don't really have too much of a preference or set native language, I guess. But I guess native language is your background and what you grew up with and your family and all that. So I'm pretty sure Lao is my native language. Do you think knowing the language gives you a better understanding of the culture? For this question, it's kind of hard because you can understand a culture even if you don't speak the language. I mean, speaking the language, you obviously can get more from it because you will understand, like, you can communicate to other people and you can understand their speech and their wording and all that. But as culture-wise, language does tie in with their culture. But you don't have to, I don't think that you have to exactly know the language to understand a certain culture. It does give you a little more of an advantage, I guess, but I don't think it's really like above there. Which this ties into the next question. What is the biggest advantage of being multilingual? For me, personally, with Lao, I don't think it has many advantages other than being able to communicate to my family members that don't speak English and being able to translate for them. Or I guess speaking with like Thai people or like over the phone with my family members that aren't here and like still don't speak really good English. Unlike Spanish or French or more of the more learned foreign languages, Lao doesn't really have many advantages to it because Lao is really just a part of like one kind of spot in the world. Unlike Spanish, where if you travel, people could be speaking Spanish or French, and you can kind of adapt to the surroundings you have while you're traveling. So I think that's the biggest advantage you would have being multilingual, depending on what language it is, what languages you know. The last question I have is, were there any particularly good or bad experiences you had when speaking your language? So for this one, I've never had really good or bad experiences with it because I just feel like not too many people know about the Lao language, and when they do hear it, they're just like, oh, wow, you speak another language, can you say something in it? But I feel like many people who are multilingual will always get that, like, if you tell someone you speak English and French, if they don't know French, they're gonna obviously like ask you to say something in the language. So I feel like everybody gets that experience of people who are monolinguistic, asking to hear another word in a foreign language. But other than that, I've had people tell me like being multilingual is really cool. They wish they picked up on another language because it would be really helpful. This is really funny, but I think with the opposite sex, obviously males, that I've like talked to, they think that being multilingual, a girl that's multilingual, is more attractive, which I think is kind of funny, but I mean, it's an attribute that they like, so it makes girls attractive when they speak multiple languages, which I think everyone's beautiful no matter what. So I've never really had any terrible experiences because I don't really speak Lao outside like my home, or my family and I speak Lao when we're out at restaurants sometimes, but it's like kind of rare. It's not like a whole on conversation. It's kind of just like little here and there Lao, but there's like English mix. So we haven't really had, or I haven't really had any bad experiences with it. So yeah, that concludes my self interview on my culture, my language. Thanks for watching. Bye.